Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode, Boomer and I are out on a hot tent overnighter in the forest. It is windy. It is forecasted to get somewhat cold tonight. Not terrible. As you guys can see, I'm in a t-shirt right now, working up the sweat, getting the tent set up. I've got the air pad, the sleeping bag, the wood stove, and the tent totally set up. Now it's time to start on a hot coffee. All right, guys, so I got my cup of hot coffee on the go right now, and I'm just letting that small campfire smolder out. I don't need the flames or fire just yet. I will later on this evening. But leaning up against this tree, got a real good feeling of the fall leaves starting to turn in this forest. All the foliage on the ground starting to turn brown and yellow. Soon these leaves will be lit up orange, yellow, and red, which is going to be awesome. Tonight's wood stove burn is also going to be really enjoyable. I got a really good supper planned for this evening. I may utilize the fire, or I may actually do it all in the tent on top of the wood stove. I'm undecided yet. I did bring a frying pan with me that I don't want to put over the fire. So if I do plan on cooking with the fire, it'll be a mixture of the fire and the tent. I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait to see what happens. But just going to kick back and relax and enjoy this very strong black coffee today. No creamer, kicking it old school with the black coffee, and I got to say it's definitely refreshing. So I'm just going to relax here with the sunshine kind of poking through the trees and kick back and enjoy the coffee, and right after that I'm going to start on collecting some firewood. Alright guys, so the progress I've made so far, I've got all the firewood that I think I'm going to require for the outside fire pit all prepped up right here in a pile. I've also got all the firewood that I anticipate needing and using inside of the tent set next to the wood stove. I also did take a few rocks from around the area and place them underneath of the wood stove to protect the dry ground and the tent strap that rides under the stove. So everything inside of the tent is totally ready to go for this evening. Packed up my saw. I'm not going to need that at all anymore. I don't think. I believe if I find any more wood, I'll just break it instead of cutting it. There's all kinds of firewood in the area to do that. I've got all my cooking stuff ready. Unfortunately, it's not time to get cooking. I've probably got another hour before the sun kind of dips down and then we get in more of the evening vibe. At that point, I will be able to light the fire and get a little bit of food items prepped up. I think I am going to cook on the wood stove just because of the frying pan that I chose to bring with me. I really don't want to ruin it by putting it in the fire. It does have a very nice non-stick coating. This is a GSI folding frying pan, so this will work really good on the wood stove to help me cook up my food. So I'm going to do the chicken breast that I brought with me, which is wrapped up in clothing. I'm going to take that out and season it, cook it in the pan on the wood stove. And I may bring out some of my vegetable items and prep them up and try and get them over the fire, or at least a little char them next to the fire, which will add a real nice flavor to the food. And then bring it all together and sit out here in front of the campfire and enjoy meals. So I'm going to kick around camp right now, relax, and just make sure everything's done until that time, and then I'll be ready to cook. Alright guys, ducking inside of the tent right now. It is total darkness outside. The moon is high in the sky just out the tent door. I can actually see it, which is awesome. Peeking through the trees. Pretty epic. This tent is getting super warm. Warm enough that I can actually start taking off some of these layers, because crawling inside of here, shutting this light off, and enjoying the glow out of the stove and this heat lofting in here is definitely going to be enjoyable. So I do have both side doors still wide open. I'm going to be shutting this one where my feet are kind of kicked out right now in just a moment. I just stoked the stove up. It is ripping and roaring right now. I'm actually going to damp it down a tiny bit. Just a little bit on that damper. Slow that burn down a little bit. I am burning primarily softwood. So ordinarily that's a no-no, but I did go with a longer chimney on this trip just to make sure that I had the clearance, because I knew I was going to be camping in a soft-wooded forest, and that should help mitigate burn holes from embers, and also dampening it down, keeping the spark arrestor cleaned out, and all those little tips and tricks. So the area that I decided to put the tent is full of pine duff. I did put rocks underneath of the wood stove to protect it, and just keeping a very close eye on the ambient heat that's going to the ground from the stove. So far everything's looking really good. No worries there. So Boomer's inside. He is actually passed out right now, asleep. He's done for the day. And I've got all my tools and all my cooking appliances and all that stuff inside of the tent now, so I don't have to worry about anything getting lost this evening, or any scavengers coming about, raccoons, skunks, those types of things. And I'm basically ready to kind of kick back and relax. Like I said, I'm going to shut this door, get that shut, and basically hop inside the tent and enjoy some of this warmth. Alright guys, finally jumping inside of the tent, and Boomer scurrying his way up towards the front. So I brought my little foam reflective sit pad here, and I've been using this a lot lately. I find in the wintertime this thing is absolute gem piece of kit for kneeling and sitting, but for this particular trip I've actually got rocks, really hard rock, right where I would normally kneel. So this is actually going to help out quite a bit in kneeling, or elbows reaching out into the wood stove and feeding it, much like I am right now. And there are so many roasting red hot coals in there right now. This is burning really good. So like I said, just keeping an eye on what type of wood I'm putting in there, and don't stir the coals. That's a big tip that I'd have for people getting started in hot tenting. You see a lot of people that poke and prod their wood stoves and stir the coals, and try not to do any of that. And don't get your pipe roasting cherry hot and taking pictures and showing it to your friends, because it's not cool. What really happens is these titanium pipes get so hot, hotter than steel pipes, because steel melts at a lower temperature than titanium. So titanium can actually withhold a lot more heat than steel pipes. And I've actually seen foil steel pipes melt holes in them because they've gotten so ridiculously crazy hot from people online. I don't know what you're putting in your stove to do that, but definitely stop doing it. But these titanium pipes, they're so thin that they get very hot. Titanium has a high melting point. So that's the reason why these pipes can be so thin. But the problem is the stove jack is only about 20 inches away from the pipe. And if you get your stovepipe cherry hot 24 to 30 inches up, that massive amount of heat is touching the stove jack. While it is a silicone impregnated fireproof mat, it will still smoke. It will smolder, it will smoke, and it will deteriorate. It's not meant to deal with that amount of heat for that long. So getting your stovepipe that hot and being in a tent with the door shut and all that noxious fumes coming off your stove jack filling the tent as you're potentially sleeping can make for a very dangerous situation. So
there's a lot of things to kind of touch on with hot tenting, and I have other videos on this channel, hot tenting 101, hot tenting myths. Just jump on the channel, go to search videos, and just type in hot tent and scroll your way down. You'll find a bunch of videos on my channel. So yeah, a lot of things to look after when you're hot tenting. And yeah, it can be dangerous, but for the most part, it's safe as long as you know what you're doing. I've been doing this for many, many years, decades actually, and I've never had any issues that were life-threatening. So I'm going to be basically relaxing inside of the tent. I do have a movie saved in my phone I want to watch and get a little bit more comfortable here. I'm going to leave the side door open because I'm looking at the moon right now out the tent door, crackling a wood stove. Get this light shut off and I'll have the makings for a pretty epic view, and I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to say good night to you guys. I'll see you first thing in the morning for hot coffee.
Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful early fall morning today, full of sunshine. Boomer and I are out here with our hot cup of coffee, leaned up against a tree. We've got squirrels, birds. I can hear loons way out across the lake here. Just absolutely amazing. Very, very chilly this morning, coming in at around 10 degrees Celsius. Not crazy, but for this time of year, it's nice and it's refreshing, definitely. So we've got the wood stove rocking away right now, just next to me. That thing is putting out some crazy amount of heat. That water boiled up no time for some coffee, and definitely hot enough to open up both tent doors. Last night the tent door was open for quite a while. Burned up a little bit of wood, definitely did not burn the stove all night though, just a little bit of ambient heat. And this morning to burn off a little bit of the condensation in there. As the days are a little warm and the nights are cold, you get that condensation. And to dry out my shoes and socks and things like that. So the wood stove works great for things more than just heat. So it is going to burn out. I'm not going to add any more wood to the wood stove yet, or at all this morning I should say, because I've got my coffee done. I had a little bit of a snack in the tent early this morning, so definitely don't need the fire anymore. But as you guys can hear, if the microphone's picking that up, the squirrels and the birds out here are crazy loud. Very nice waking up to that. And in the distance there's some leaves falling from the trees, even though the leaves haven't even turned yellow or red yet. Some of them are already kind of falling down off the trees, which is a good sign that we're going to have a frosty fall, I think. So I'm going to kick back and enjoy this coffee before it gets too cold. So cheers, guys, and good morning. Alright guys, coffee was great, but the morning is getting a little long here and the sun's starting to get up, as you guys could probably tell by the glaring sunlight in my face. So that means it's time to start getting packed up. Got to get my kettle and all my cook stuff out of here. The wood stove has cooled down enough that I can actually touch it with my gloves. And the amount of wood that I have left over is 2, 4, 7, 8 pieces. So did really well on the wood prep. Most of it was used for the outside fire. As I said, I didn't really need that much heat in the tent. It's not overly cold out yet, but as we get more into winter time, we'll definitely be stocking up on some firewood. So with the wood stove cooled off, I'm going to dismantle the chimney pipe and get that out, dump the coals in the fire pit, and douse that with a little bit of water that's left in my kettle, and then start tearing down the tent. Alright guys, I've got everything totally packed up inside the bag. Everything fits nice and snug. It's a little bit of a challenge to get it in there, but being a roll top style backpack makes it really easy to roll the top and slam everything in there. So everything is taken care of. The fire is totally extinguished. I did get a little bit more water from the lake, which is just off in the distance there with the water bottle. Come back up, dose that out. No more smoke, no more embers. So totally taken care of, and it is time to get out of here. The temperature is starting to rise as the sun's coming through these trees. So get out of here early in the morning while it's still a little crisp and cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the adventure. Until next time, peace out. I'll see you in the next one.
Oh!